Today, we got some great news for the AI market as we're seeing a massive AI investment happening in the United States of over $500 billion within the next 4 years. We see companies like Oracle up over 4% after hours after being up 7% today. Nvidia was up nearly 2% after hours. Microsoft is up nearly 1%, and other players in the AI space are benefiting as well. Like always, too long don't watch. If you have something else to do, the main concept of today's episode is going to come from the Stargate project, which is a new company intended to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States. Now, in forms of some key players for this new company and for this huge investment are companies like ARM, Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, and Softbank, right? So those are some of the companies that did see a nice price action over the day. Now, that's pretty much the main concept of this episode. Throughout the episode, I am going to try to answer some questions that I think every investor should know, because there's a lot more into it outside of just the main concept. But before you go any further, this is actually a topic I talked about on March 29th of 2024. So over 8 months ago, we talked about great news for Nvidia stock, Microsoft, and OpenAI Stargate supercomputer program. So we heard about the rumors and how there were going to be multiple winners in that space. So I'm not sure why you're not subscribed to the channel right now. If you haven't just yet, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out the pinned comment for special offer at fool.com/Jose, and check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter, whatthechip.happened.com. The link is down below. Now, let's get started.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so now that I gave you the quick overview, I'm going to take my time to kind of just share my overall thoughts on this. Overall, very bullish for the AI infrastructure market, right? We're seeing multi-$100 billion investment happening here in the United States. Now, this kind of also opens up the opportunity of, hey, look, this massive investment is going to come here for US AI infrastructure. What's going to stop maybe some other players to do it within their countries as well, right? So it maybe not to this level, but it just opens up the market opportunities of other people continue to build up AI infrastructure, which could be bullish for a lot of AI companies, especially the hardware plays like Nvidia, like maybe AMD, like Broadcom, and the list goes on and on. So we do see that right now Oracle had a great day as these rumors started to pop up earlier throughout the market day, where Oracle was up over 7%, and now after hours is up another 4.5%. Nvidia, very similar. Nvidia was pretty bullish on this news, up over 2% on the market and up over 1.6% right now. At the end of the day, anybody who's investing heavily in AI investments is going to be buying a lot of NVIDIA AI chips. We also see Microsoft with their partnership of OpenAI is up over 1.4%, as we do see that this announcement is also a partnership with Microsoft as well. So I kind of highlighted some of the important information here, and I kind of mentioned, right, this Stargate project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States, and they will begin deploying $100 billion immediately. Now, I mentioned about 8 months ago, we did a video about this when we were hearing rumors about it, and this is why I say there's always some truth to the rumors. When we heard about it on March of 2024, we thought about it of a supercomputer, but it's more of a multi-supercomputers all around the United States. Initially, they are already kind of building facilities in Texas, and that's where they're building some of the data centers already. That's going to expand to other states and other campuses around the United States. So pretty bullish. Now, if we look at the initial equity funders in Stargate, there's Softbank. Softbank has a lot of money. OpenAI, I'm curious how much money OpenAI is really going to invest. Oracle is another one that's heavily in money and building AI infrastructure, and MGX. MGX is probably the least known here, but we actually heard about MGX early in September. MGX is a technology investment company focused on accelerating the development and adoption of AI and advanced technologies through world-leading partnerships in the UAE and globally. MGS invests in sectors where AI can deliver value and economic impact at scale, including semiconductor, infrastructure, software, tech-enabled services, life science, and automation. One of the first times we've kind of heard about MGX was in September 17th of 2024, where BlackRock, global infrastructure partners like Nvidia, Microsoft, and MGX launched new AI partnership to invest in data centers and supporting power infrastructure. So all this is starting to kind of piece the puzzles together, right? So out of this, SoftBank and OpenAI are the lead partners for Stargate, with SoftBank having financial responsibility and OpenAI having operational responsibility. Masa will be the chairman of this new company. So Masayoshi has been an amazing player in the tech space. We've heard a lot of great praises from tech leaders like Nvidia, and we can see he has a heavy wallet to be spending in things like this. Obviously, we see kind of those financial responsibilities are going to go with companies like OpenAI, like Oracle, and MGX as well. Now, on the bullish side, for who might be some of the great winners in this space, they mentioned that ARM, Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, and OpenAI are the key initial technology partners, right? So this does mean that other partners can open up, but most likely this is going to be Oracle and Microsoft building kind of these data center infrastructure, sharing some form of technological infrastructure here. OpenAI, Microsoft and Oracle have worked together plenty of times already. NVIDIA, obviously with the AI accelerators. I'm going to talk a little bit about ARM later on, but also we do see that Oracle, NVIDIA, and OpenAI will closely collaborate to build and operate this computing system. So again, it definitely seems like it's going to be mainly focused on NVIDIA software and hardware solution. So very bullish for NVIDIA. This builds on a deep collaboration between OpenAI and NVIDIA going back to 2016 in a newer partnership between OpenAI and Oracle. The overall concept is to be able to build kind of like AGI and just continue to evolve in the AI market. Now, $500 billion in 4 years is insane. Top level, not top level, quick level napkin math. Usually 50% of AI investments in infrastructure goes to AI accelerators. So that's out of the $500 billion. This is maybe over pushing it, but at least to kind of understand somewhere what kind of money might be coming in for Nvidia could be around $200 or $250 billion within the next 4 years just on these endeavors, if they are kind of the sole player in the GPU space. Obviously, it's not going to be it. There's going to be other players, but there's at least that total addressable market of around $200 billion in revenue for Nvidia within the next 4 years. And remember, it's not going to all come in at once, and it's not going to always be split up evenly. Things to consider, right? So those are the main topics. I do have some questions that I think every investor should consider here. So my first question was, what is ARM's role in this, right? Because I actually saw ARM actually posted this when the event came out and was like, hey, look, we're excited to be a key initial technology partner in Stargate. But I'm like, how are you? What are you providing? What are you going to provide to this team? There's two things that I can kind of think of and speculate. None of them could be right, but just from my experience, my gut feeling sometimes is right or closer to the truth. The first is if this is going to be a massive NVIDIA infrastructure play. NVIDIA is not most likely not Blackwell, but the Rubin or whatever comes after that. They have kind of the CPU GPU combo, right? We have the Grace Blackwell. We're going to have the Rubin. I forget what the next generation CPU is going to be. So and those CPUs that NVIDIA develops are based on ARM architecture. So that's one way that ARM could be doing this. The second way that could also be done is maybe ARM is OpenAI or Microsoft is using ARM to build a unique CPU, a unique ARM-based CPU that's going to be specialized for this data center, and that's going to work really well with NVIDIA and other AI accelerators. These type of ARM CPUs might even use things like CoWoS solution. So we've actually heard something in TSMC's latest earnings. This was actually a video I was gonna do later this week, but it does seem like CoWoS is entering the CPU space. There was, during the earnings call, we saw that the chief executive officer of TSMC mentioned that CoWoS, while it's mainly used in server GPUs, it's coming on server CPUs within the next year or so. And kind of adding this means that maybe we might start to see things like HBM being added to CPUs, and these CPUs might be extremely viable for AI workloads or something like that, right? So it's going to be interesting of how ARM is going to play the role. I think it's either going to be with that NVIDIA ARM CPU that it normally uses, or a custom CPU made with OpenAI and Microsoft. So that's the first question. The second question I had is NVIDIA the only winner in the AI chip space? I am going to say, while they might not be the only winner, they're going to be the main winner. There's probably going to be some investors that might be bullish that AMD could get some of the small piece of the pie here. It is possible for that to happen, but overall, I believe a good portion is going to come to NVIDIA. The other big players that can kind of benefit from here is Broadcom. We know that Broadcom supposedly has a partnership with OpenAI to build an AI chip. If that AI chip works well, then that could be another winner. But just because they're making a chip doesn't mean it's going to go to full production. We've seen other big tech players kind of have partnership with Broadcom and their chips fail that they never led to production, right? Or it just didn't make sense for them to make it. So while they were designing, the designing takes time and it doesn't guarantee that it's going to go in full production. But if they make a successful chip, then maybe Broadcom can also be a winner here. Those are two maybes, right? Maybe Broadcom, maybe AMD. But one clear winner out of this is NVIDIA. Now, some other questions I had for me is that I had, why was Jensen and Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, not present? This, I don't know, right? I know Jensen is in Taiwan right now doing kind of celebrating the Lunar Year, I believe, in that part of the world. So he hasn't really kind of made it to the United States. But it was pretty interesting that he was not. Also, it does seem like this was more of kind of like the Stargate company. And the Stargate company, as we saw, there's three initial equity, four initial equity funders. Softbank, which was present, OpenAI, which was present, Oracle, which was present, MGX was the only one not present, but at least NVIDIA and Microsoft are not equity funders here, so it makes sense that they were not there. Some other question is this the breakup story for Microsoft and OpenAI, and are they going to Oracle? I don't believe that's the case, right? We even hear it here that Microsoft, I don't know if I circled it. Oh no, they mentioned that this also builds on the existing OpenAI partnership with Microsoft. OpenAI will continue to increase its consumption of Azure as OpenAI continues its work with Microsoft with this additional compute to train leading models and deliver great product and services. So, I mean, I think Microsoft is kind of happy about this, right? It means that they have this heavy child, OpenAI, that spends a lot of money. Now they don't have to spend all that money themselves for this company to continue to innovate. You have other big spenders. You have Uncle Softbank, you have Uncle MGX, you have Uncle Oracle. They're also giving an allowance to OpenAI. So I think Microsoft is just happy that they don't have to spend this kind of investment on OpenAI for them to continue to develop. And at the end, OpenAI is still going to be using Microsoft, and Microsoft is still going to be able to integrate these types of technologies into its own platform. So I think that's why it's not necessarily the breakup story for Microsoft. Now, who are some other winners? And I think some other winners in this space are I've talked about them before. I mentioned that I personally am not an investor in them, but they're definitely great winners in the space. Vistra, which is an electric energy company, which I believe Nancy Pelosi just added more in the most recent update from any Nancy Investments. The other one is VRT, right? VRT is another player that provides infrastructure solution. And since it is happening here in the United States, these are most likely going to be clear winners. Obviously, there's other players as these are going to be massive, massive data centers. We also saw ARM Technology was up about 4.7% because they are an initial technology investor. And we kind of talked about them earlier in this episode. So that's pretty much all I had. A lot of cool updates. I have a lot of questions after this. At the end of the day, AI investment is real. $500 billion within the next 4 years is insane for AI companies and for a lot of winners. So this is more evidence that the AI market is going to continue to be strong. So I am going to be curious to hear more about it. Maybe we might hear more about it from Jensen as well. Maybe, and as the progress continues, we're going to be able to see kind of the investments continue in the AI space. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.